Good morning and good afternoon. So good morning in Sri Lanka and good end of afternoon in Fiji. My name is Ryan Orange and together with Miss Lal today we'll have a match from the Group B in the day 3. So this is the third match for the two teams, the University of South Pacific in Fiji and the University of Colombo in Sri Lanka. So I give the floor to my colleague Miss Lal for this match.
Thank you. The teams were given the topic, States must prioritize citizens' energy security while complying with international nuclear non-proliferation commitments 7 days in advance. Before we allocate the positions, we'd first like to get to know the members a bit better. So starting off with the team from University of Colombo, could we hear from Gevindu Gamage, please?
Hi guys, I'm Gevidu Gamage. I'm from the University of Colombo. I'm currently studying in the second year, and I'm hoping to have a wonderful debate today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. From the University of the South Pacific, Mr. Chone Namani, please.
Good day, everyone. I'm Johnny, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. And I want to wish everyone best of luck in this match.
Thank you. From the University of Colombo, Ms. Shanali Gamage, please.
Hi, good afternoon and good morning, everyone. I'm Shanali Gamake. I'm from Team University of Colombo, and I'm currently a third year, and I'll be the second speaker for the debate today, and I'm really excited for this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. From the University of the South Pacific, Ms. Catherine Singh, please.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine Mahima Singh. I'm a final year law student, and really nice to meet you.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, from the University of Colombo, Ms. Sahanma Metsarani, please.
Hi, I'm Sahanna Metsarani. I'm a second year undergraduate in the Faculty of Law in University of Colombo. So yeah, I'm pretty much excited for this debate and wish everyone good luck.
Thank you so much. We'd also like to share gratitude to the coaches. So the University of the South Pacific team is supported by Mr. Shivendranath and Ms. Andy Gonelevu, and the University of Colombo team is supported by Indivari de Silva. Okay, so now if Professor Laurent could please share his screen so we'll allocate positions.
Yes, so in a few seconds you will see a wheel up. So can you see the wheel?
Yeah.
So as you can see, there are two possibilities for each institution to be in favor or to be against. Of course, the team will be in favor, will be starting the match with the first introduction. For this match, the University of the South Pacific will be in favor of the motion and will be starting with the first introduction, and as a consequence, the University of Colombo will be against the motion. Now you have 5 minutes to review your notes, and then we hear the introduction from the University of South Pacific.
Okay, so that marks the end of preparations. Professor Larange will be the timekeeper. Please note that when you have 30 seconds left, you will see the yellow card
Yes.
on the screen.
Here it is.
Yes, there we go. And when time is up, you will see a red card. When you see the red card, you may comfortably finish your sentence, but it is not recommended to start another. With that, we will start with the opening statements, of course, with the team in favor. University of the South Pacific, you have 4 minutes, whenever you're ready.
Honorable judges and my dear colleagues, across the Pacific, energy is not a luxury, it is survival. It sustains hospitals in the midst of cyclones, powers desalination systems, and preserves the dignity of entire communities. Yet, our region also bears the scars of nuclear testing and broken promises. That history leaves no ambiguity. When states disregard non-proliferation commitments, it is ordinary people who suffer the consequences. Now, this debate asks whether states must prioritize energy security while complying with nuclear non-proliferation rules. Energy security refers to energy that is reliable, affordable, and sustainable. Non-proliferation commitments encompass obligations under the NPT, Article 3, safeguards, and Article 4's rights to peaceful use. Now, the International Atomic Energy Agency safeguards system and its additional protocol and regional frameworks such as the Rarotonga, which prohibit nuclear weapons while permitting peaceful nuclear technology under strict oversight. Now, our position is unequivocal. Energy security and non-proliferation are not in conflict. They are mutually reinforcing. The NPT codifies this balance. Article 4 affirms the right to peaceful energy, nuclear energy, but only in strict conformity with Articles 1, 2, and 3. Article 3 mandates safeguards agreements with the International Atomic Energy Agency, while the additional protocol strengthens verification. Rarotonga prohibits nuclear devices, yet explicitly supports peaceful cooperation under safeguards. Compliance is not optional. It is strategic necessity. States that comply secure access to fuel, technology, and international cooperation. The JCPOA demonstrated this clearly. Iran's acceptance of enhanced safeguards resulted in sanctions relief. In contrast, North Korea's withdrawal from the NPT triggered sanctions that devastated its energy sector. The pattern is undeniable. Compliance opens doors, defiance isolates. Flexible or selective adherence may appear expedient, but it consistently undermines stability. Binding legal commitments, by contrast, generates trust, legitimacy, and durable cooperation. This is not abstract. It is the lived experience of the Pacific. Nuclear testing exposed the catastrophic cost of weak oversight, and the Treaty of Rarotonga was a deliberate sovereign response, rejecting nuclear weapons while safeguarding the right to peaceful energy. The lesson is stark. Partial or flexible compliance leaves communities exposed, while strict adherence to legal obligations secures trust, cooperation, and long-term stability. As the first speaker, I have established the foundation and will then proceed to the rebuttal directly, confronting the opposing case and exposing the flaw in separating energy security from non-proliferation. Our second speaker will advance the second rebuttal and conclude, demonstrating why the affirmative position best protects citizens' stability and the rule of law. At the close of this debate, the choice is unavoidable. Pursue energy at the expense and safeguards and accept instability, or uphold legal commitments and secure energy that is safe, sustainable, and just. That is the position the affirmative defends. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now for the opening statements for the team against the motion, University of Colombo, you now have 4 minutes.
Honorable adjudicators and my dear colleagues, based on the arguments raised by the proposition, I must firstly say that the proposition's proposal in the debate at hand is basically putting up petrol onto a fire, which would eventually result in an expansion of fire that is existent in the global context at the moment. We speak of a geopolitical hypocrisy in the world at hand, where the five main actors within the sphere of nuclear energy at the moment are basically bullying the other actors, which are eventually looking at nuclear energy as a solution. Instead, we as opposition believe that there is a better viable solution in the form of other alternative, safer sources of energy, such as solar energy, wind energy, and geothermal energy. These are renewable energy sources which may be of more viability and more feasibility as a solution to the energy crisis which we are facing at the moment. We do agree that there is an energy crisis in the world at large. However, alternative, safer energy sources would be a much larger alternative and a best way of getting through this crisis, because one thing, it is safer, it is efficient, and also it is economical. We must also understand that as opposition, we try to raise the argument that there is also a risk and economic fallacy moving into nuclear energy sources. Why do we say this? The best example is the Chernobyl power plant, which resulted in destruction in the 1980s, which eventually resulted in lands in those areas up to 4-kilometer radius being lost for almost 20,000 years. This is the risk that we are taking by utilizing nuclear energy. And solar panels and other renewable energy sources, on the other hand, would provide a more feasible solution to the problem at large. Why? Because it is safe and there is no sunk cost, no large sunk cost involved in it either. Countries such as countries in the developing world are unable to bear this huge sunk cost that is attached to nuclear energy, which has resulted in energy poverty all in itself. And as a result, we believe that nuclear energy would not be the ideal solution in this instance, and solar energy would provide a better solution to the energy crisis at large. In addition to this, we must also raise the argument that there is also a dual use risk attached to nuclear energy. Why? Because nuclear energy is also part of military strategy. We must understand that countries could eventually, that due to the thin lining that is existent between peace and military strategies and militarization in terms of the nuclear energy, there is a huge chance for nuclear energy to be converted into military strategies and military weapons within a matter of few moments and few days. The best example comes from Iran. In 2025, following the attacks on Tehran, Iran decided to weaponize the nuclear energy that was available to them. This shows to us that militarization of nuclear energy can be done within a matter of moments and days. And as a result, countries, national actors with national interests would very much go for nuclear militarization, which could result in eventual global destruction as a whole. In addition to this, nuclear hedging has also been another issue at hand, where countries basically go within the frameworks. However, in consequence, they are basically building up nuclear bombs. Saudi Arabia is the best example for this. And as a result, this could result in greater global destruction and greater militarization, and eventually countries losing their sovereignty at the hands of global actors which are developing in the context of nuclear energy, and which may result in eventual destruction in the global context. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Now for the first round of rebuttal for the team in favor, University of the South Pacific, you now have 2 minutes.
Honorable judges, the opposition says we're expanding the fire and acting like bullies. But the truth is, safeguards are not fire. They are the extinguisher. Article 4 of the NPT gives every state the right to peaceful nuclear energy, but only in conformity with Articles 1, 2, and 3. That balance is what protects citizens. They point to solar energy as the solution. We agree renewables matter, but this debate is about nuclear energy security. Solar cannot erase the obligations of the NPT or the Treaty of Rarotonga. Nuclear energy is already here, and without safeguards, it becomes suspicion, sanctions, and instability. History proves it. North Korea's withdrawal from the NPT brought sanctions and blackouts. Iran's compliance under the JCPOA unlocked fuel, trade, and technology. Compliance builds energy security. Defiance destroys it. And the Pacific knows this better than anyone. Nuclear testing left cancers, displacement, and poisoned food systems. That is why our states created Rarotonga to reject weapons but embrace peaceful energy under oversight. So let us be clear. Compliance is not bullying, it is protection. Safeguards are the shield that secures energy for citizens without repeating the devastation our region has already endured. Thank you.
Thank you. Now for the first round of rebuttal from the team against the motion, University of Colombo. You have 2 minutes.
Honorable judges and members of the House, while the proposition might argue that the Article 4 of Non-Proliferation Treaty is of absolute protection, what the opposition might argue here is that Article 10 of the same agreement can be invoked by the countries to kick out the inspectors of the International Atomic Energy Agency and also to carry out what they want to do with their countries. Because for an example, if we take Iran as an example, even though they earlier declared that they use nuclear energy for peaceful purposes, within a matter of seconds, a country can shift their stance using Article 10 as same as they use Article 4 for their protection. And also, while we focus on sanctions, what opposition argued is that the sanctions are a failure because they're impractical. For an example, if you look at North Korea has a lot of sanctions in terms of nuclear energy and all. But again, they are not affected by those sanctions. Also, they have the potential and they have the capacity to carry out what they want within their country under sovereignty. And also, what the opposition might argue here is compliance. Even though the proposition says that compliance is mandatory and it is better to comply with the international frameworks and all that, opposition argues that the insufficiency of such peaceful use framework is something of a reality that we encounter at present. Because for an example, prioritizing energy security is a justification for the states to develop something of a sensitive technology when they can transfer the options that they have to something of dangerous impact to the world. Because they invoke the Article 10, but the best example is Iran using Iran's nuclear deal where they left the deal and then they are recognized as a threat to the neighboring countries. So what we propose as opposition is the peaceful use framework proposed by the proposition is not something practical at hand, and we should strictly formulate such stances. Thank you.
Thank you. Now for the second round of rebuttals, team in favor, University of the South Pacific. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Your points are well noted. Yes, they make sense. Honorable judges, the opposition says Article 10 means states can simply cancel commitments and that sanctions are a failure. Respectfully, that is a dangerous misreading of the law and of history. Article 10 of the NPT makes withdrawal deliberately difficult. It requires 3 months notice and a public statement of extraordinary events. North Korea ignored those requirements, expelled inspectors, and resumed nuclear activity. The result was not freedom, it was crippling UN sanctions, economic collapse, and chronic blackouts for its citizens. Withdrawal destroyed sovereignty instead of protecting it. Sanctions are not perfect, but they are not failure. They are the enforcement mechanisms that makes compliance meaningful. Iran under the JCPOA shows the opposite. When it accepted enhanced safeguards, sanctions were lifted, trade resumed, and energy options expanded. Compliance opened doors. Defiance closed them. And solar energy, of course, renewables matter, but this debate is about nuclear energy security. Solar cannot erase the obligations of the NPT, the additional protocol, or the Treaty of Rarotonga. Nuclear energy is already part of the global mix, and without safeguards, it becomes suspicion, isolation, and instability. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now for the second round of rebuttals from the team against the motion, University of Colombo, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, honorable adjudicators and my fellow colleagues. The proposition would have you believe that energy security can justify bending, stretching, or even ignoring non-proliferation obligations. Respectfully, if we take North Korea as an example, they withdrew from the NPT claiming energy needs, but even the treaty allows for the 3-month notice period before the withdrawal. North Korea excuse me, may I have
So I think, so I stopped the clock just to check if everything is okay. Miss Kamage. So if there is a technical issue or anything which affect a team, we stop.
I'm having a technical issue. Can I have?
Yes, so we check indeed that you can hear us and we can see you, we can hear you well as well, before of course resuming. So at this moment we cannot see you. Can you?
Yes, can I have an extra minute to
Yes,
fix
of
my...
course. We'll make sure that it
I'm
works.
extremely sorry.
No, it's okay.
Extremely sorry.
No, it's fine. So what matters, of course, is that the judge, they can hear everything, and of course, so everything that, for example, I am seeing and I'm hearing, they can see and they can hear, of course. So it's really important we can hear very well what is said, and so Miss Gamage, how is it going? It is fine, of course, if the video does not work, if only audio works. So Miss Gamage. So for the viewers, we want to tell, of course, that it can happen sometimes during a match. There are some technical issues, and of course we have a protocol for this to make sure that for the judge and as well for the audience and for the teams, of course, we can have the rest of the match in better, I would say, technical conditions. So this is the reason why the clock is stopped, and then we'll see how to resume that part of the debate. Yes?
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible and visible. So first, so I tell you where we are at this moment. So do you remember where you stopped? Yes?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So at the time there were around 58 seconds remaining. Okay? So it means from the moment you will start, I will continue the clock. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so you can continue.
Apologies, honorable adjudicators and my fellow colleagues. The proposition argues that states must prioritize energy security through nuclear energy as well as energy security with respect. That is not just a misguided proposition, but it is also dangerous. Nuclear energy is inherently risky. It carries the potential for catastrophic accidents, long-term radiation exposure, and proliferation as well. Prioritizing nuclear power under the banner of energy security puts citizens in direct danger rather than protecting them. If we take the example of North Korea, their nuclear program, justified as an energy necessity, led to weapons development, sanctions, and chronic blackouts. Ignoring safeguards does not deliver energy, it destroys it. Similarly, Iran shows that even tightly controlled enrichment programs require international oversight, and attempts to bypass safeguards risk escalation and instability. And the human cost is real as well. Japan's Fukushima disaster demonstrates that even peaceful nuclear energy can fail catastrophically.
You can finish your sentence.
In conclusion, prioritizing nuclear energy is prioritizing danger. Safer alternatives exist, and non-proliferation must remain binding. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now moving on to the concluding statements, starting with the team in favor. University of the South Pacific, you have 2 minutes whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much. So, to conclude, North Korea, well, it was stated by an opponent, it is not very relevant because it gave 3-month notice under Article 10. Respectfully, that is not accurate. Article 10 requires not just notice, but a public statement of extraordinary events affecting supreme national interests. North Korea failed to meet that standard, expelled inspectors, and resumed nuclear activity. The result was not greater sovereignty, it was crippling UN sanctions, economic collapse, and chronic blackouts. Citizens suffered the most. That precedent proves withdrawal without compliance destroys energy security instead of protecting it. So it was also claimed that sanctions are a failure, but sanctions are not designed to be punishment alone. They are the enforcement mechanism that makes compliance meaningful. Iran under the JCPOA shows the opposite. When it accepted enhanced safeguards, sanctions were lifted, trade resumed, and energy options expanded. Compliance opened doors. Defiance closed them. They point to solar energy as the solution. We agree renewables matter, but this debate is about nuclear energy security. Solar cannot erase the obligations of the NPT, the additional protocol, or the Treaty of Rarotonga. Nuclear energy is already part of the global mix, and without safeguards, it becomes suspicion. So let us be clear, the NPT balances rights and duties. Article 4 guarantees peaceful nuclear energy, but only in conformity with Articles 1, 2, 3. Non-compliance breeds isolation, sanctions, and collapse. North Korea, nuclear testing, legacy. In closing, our message is simple. Compliance is not selfish, it is responsible. Thank you.
Thank you. And now for the concluding statements from the team against the motion, University of Colombo, 2 minutes whenever you're ready.
Honorable adjudicators and my dear colleagues, once again, as the opposition, I must firstly bring out that proposition is once again clearly failed to understand the very crux of this debate. Why do I say this? Because they've spoken about a peaceful framework that has allowed for peace and prosperity in today's world. However, the world at large today in itself is at chaos. Look at Article 10. Look at Article 10. Article 10 allows for removal from procedures within the framework within 3 months. Is 3 months sufficient? That is a big question that we raise as opposition. That clearly shows us that this framework in itself is incompatible and is not a rightful solution to nuclear energy proliferation within a peaceful network. We must also understand that proposition brought out an argument to say that sanctions are not mere punishment. That is why we say that sanctions are impractical. Sanctions do not prevent countries from going beyond their limits. This is why North Korea has been a failed example of this framework in itself. In addition to this, ladies and gentlemen, sanctions are also subjective upon nations. Look at Russia. Russia is a country that is very much defiant upon frameworks, but they yet, in this context, Russia was given the chance and the sanctions were lifted. Russia yet remains as a defiant nation of frameworks, but they have been given the opportunity to expand their trade. Why? Because US finds it or deems it inevitable for themselves. This is why we spoke about sanctions as being impractical, as being an impractical arm against the nuclear race that is existent in today's world. In addition to this, we also as opposition brought out a proposed alternative, safer mechanism to address the energy crisis. Nuclear energy is not the only solution, and therefore we as opposition believe that instead of nuclear energy, we can go into alternative, safer alternatives, and within a much better, peaceful framework than what the proposition calls for. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. And that concludes the match. Thank you to both teams. And once again, congratulations on making it to day 3. It's an amazing feat. And I hope that you all are proud of yourselves. As always, we will first do some reflections before going over our networking questions. So again, reflecting on the match itself. So starting from the topic, your research, and of course the match itself. How did you find it? So perhaps starting off with the University of Colombo, could we hear from Mr. Gevindus and Gamage, please?
Yeah, so I think today's topic is very interesting. It's a very timely topic, I would say, in today's context, considering the global war and the kind of the international order that we are at the moment. And I really enjoyed this topic, particularly because it's a very timely topic. And I feel that the debate was also very fruitful in a way. We did argue for and against. Yes, there were certain arguments that we did preempt, but there were also new arguments as well. And yeah, it was a very good debate, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for sharing. Could we hear from Miss Catherine Mahima Singh, please?
Well, thank you. That was a pretty intense debate. Research went well. It was a bit difficult. This topic is quite broad, but honestly, it was enjoyable. I really wish we did better, but our opponents were just wonderful today. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Could we hear from Ms. Sahanma Metsarani, please?
Hi, so yeah, pretty much same thoughts as my colleague shared with you all. The debate was interesting, and the research was also like that we did some sort of research into timely topics and all that. And I think the opposing team was also did a wonderful job. So yeah, I enjoyed the time doing this debate, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Choninamani, did you find that you had similar arguments to the opposing team?
Yes, but they delivered it in such a passionate way. It was a complex topic, but then we had to really dig deep in our research. But all in all, it was quite like my colleague has said, intense match. So yeah.
Thank you. And finally, Ms. Shanali Gamige, please.
Hi, once again, apologies for my technical mishap. That was very unexpected, but overall, yeah, I wish that did not happen. I thought the University of South Pacific posed a really good challenge for us, and the debate was very engaging. I thought that nuclear non-proliferation is like a very interesting topic, and we through our research we got to explore both like the legal and the practical dimensions of that topic. So yeah, I'm really glad to be a part of this.
Thank you, and absolutely no worries. We tend to have a lot of technical difficulties throughout the matches, so absolutely no worries. We're just glad to have completed the match. And then once again, great job to both teams. So now we will move on to our networking portion. So this time starting off with the University of the South Pacific. So over the 3 days, the 3 match days, do you want to give a shout out to anyone who has been encouraging or inspiring you through this competition? So whichever member would like to start, and then the other can continue on, please.
Well, we would like to give a huge shout out to the Law Students Association at USP. They have been really supportive. I saw our second match once again on YouTube, and it has 600 plus views, and we were surprised, honestly. And honestly, our friends are outside right now watching on YouTube, which feels awesome. We have had interviews by the media. It was pretty overwhelming, and we're trying to stop all that for now. But I'd like to give a huge shout out to our friends in the Law Students Association and entire USP for supporting us and pushing us and telling us that we can do it. And to our coaches, especially, they have been with us since day one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Now from the University of Colombo, if any members would like to give a special shout out.
Yeah, so for us from my end, special shout out to our coach, Indy. She really helped us through the debate. It's not very easy. She's also a university undergraduate. So with all her work, she gave us time and she helped us with our arguments as well. And also in terms of our submissions as well, she helped us a lot. And I feel through this debate, I personally, and I think my colleagues would agree as well, we developed a lot under her guidance, and we're really thankful to her for that. In addition to that, we're also really grateful to the Moot Court and Debating Society and the faculty who also supported us throughout this journey, especially our president and also the executive committee supported us along the way, and we're really thankful to them as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I believe that we have both the coaches present as well. So if there's anything that you would like to add on, if you're comfortable, of course. So starting off with the USP team, if the coach is present, if you'd like to say a few words of encouragement.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Yes. First of all, Bula Vinaka from Fiji. This was a very intense topic, and I'm very proud of both universities, how they dealt with it. It's also a very going concern issue at the moment, and I'm very happy on how both teams articulated this new going concern issue very well. And in terms of research, I think both universities displayed great legal reasoning. And of course, when we are constrained with time, it is very important to put out your understanding in a very formidable manner within the time limit. And that is something I think I'm very happy about. I mean, the reasoning, the legal reasoning, the analysis, and I'm just proud of both parties and their preparations. And keep it up and keep going in this direction. And I'm very sure that you'll be very successful lawyers in the future. So thank you. That is all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Indivari De Silva, if you'd like to add on, please.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me. Yeah.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
So thank you so much for this debate and for the opportunity that you have given our team as well. I think both sides have done really well, and I do agree with the coach of the other team as well. I think this topic specifically is very important, especially given the current climate of the world, of global politics right now. I think there's a lot that was done in this debate, and I think there's also room for improvement. And I think that both teams will go very far in the future as well. So thank you so much for everyone.
Thank you to both teams for your kind words. And now for our final networking question. And this is there a legal system, country or institution, and an area of law which you would particularly like to study or experience, and why? So again, just is there a legal system, country or institution, an area of law which you would particularly like to study or experience, and why? So this time, starting off with the University of Colombo team, any of the members are welcome to chime in.
So I'll start and my colleagues will follow on. So in terms of a legal system that I really enjoy researching on is US, specifically in relation to ADR mechanisms in the US. And I'm particularly interested in private law. And even at faculty, I do enjoy a lot of my private law subjects, and I have a particular interest in expanding myself into that field. So US is a legal system that I'm very interested in learning more about, especially in relation to ADR. and how ADR mechanisms help to resolve disputes outside of court on a non-adversarial platform. Because in Sri Lanka, we have a adversarial platform of resolving disputes, and our ADR platforms are not very much strengthened in a way. So I believe that by through comparative jurisdictions, we can do something about it in Sri Lanka as well, especially in our private law aspects.
Yeah, so to add on to that, I would say, in terms of the legal system that I'm interested in would be to study more about South Africa, because it's like bit of similar when compared to Sri Lanka. So like right now I'm doing a bit of research into a topic where I'm writing an article about. So I'm studying about that jurisdiction these days. So I find it pretty interesting, and also I think we as a country can take a lot of concerns and also like different aspects into our law and modify it. So yeah, that's about it from my end. Thank you.
That does sound quite interesting. Ms. Gamage, would you like to add on something that is of interest to you?
Adding on to what my colleague Mindu said, I'm also very interested in ADR, specifically arbitration, and I would, although I do not have like it all planned out, but I would really definitely love to go into arbitration in more depth and actually study it one day.
That does sound quite interesting. Thank you for sharing. And now same question to the University of the South Pacific team, please.
Thank you. So my area of interest is criminal law, and I would like to do my master's in New Zealand in the University of Victoria in Wellington. So I visited that university in August last year, and I'm just grateful to the tour guides and the lecturers there helping me out and talking through the processes there. And for me, criminal law is, people always say it's scary and the money does not lie there, but they say go for property. But honestly, criminal law is a calling for me. It sets out clearly what behaviors are prohibited, ensuring transparency and fairness in how justice is applied. This clarity is essential for democracy and public trust in New Zealand. And by punishing offenses, it discourages harmful acts and holds individuals responsible for their actions. So yeah, criminal law is pretty interesting. Thank you.
Mr. Nomani, would you like to add on?
Yes, just like what my colleagues have said, I do also am looking towards that path, criminal law. In Fiji, it's quite congested. So I am hoping to sort of continue with my study, hopefully get master's or PhD, and sort of go to overseas and try to find better opportunities overseas, whether it's New Zealand or Australia, and hopefully gain experience there and then come back to Fiji and contribute meaningfully to the legal field here in Fiji.
Thank you so much to both teams. And again, that all sounds wonderful. I really hope that I would just wish you all the very best for your future. And now passing it back to Professor Larange to close this match off. Thank you so much once again.
Yes, that was a great match, and I want as well to congratulate your teams, and as well to thank your support, the support you have in your university, the student association, the coach. These two teams have been participating for several years in the competition, so we see that there is a tradition which is now as well in Colombo, in Suva, so many thanks, and of course we are very happy. I visited only one of the two institutions in the past myself, so I will not tell which one, but some they know, and I have to tell that I tell all students if they look for a nice place, these two institutions are really great environment and great support as well from the professors, that's for sure. So you will receive the results for this match from the FIJ. We thank the judge as well to take the time to watch or to rewatch as well later the match, and of course it will be disclosed publicly after we send the results to the teams. We tell as well that there will be a networking session for all the teams in April, and we'll give information about it to the teams themselves, but let's say yes, we encourage everybody to keep contact between students, between student associations, and between, of course, professors from the universities themselves. So many thanks again, and we will keep in touch, and wish you great rest of the day, afternoon, evening, for me to be the morning still. So have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.